Good times, good times. I think we're live. Are we actually live? Let's see. That sounds promising. I think we may actually be live. Let's go. It's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute, but we're back. We are live inside Sunny Days Arena right now, and actually live, which is very cool. We have a super fun episode today. I know it's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute. We're renovating the podcast studio, but more importantly than that, we are making Sunny Days Arena beautiful. So that's been a bit of a priority for us this past month plus. It's looking incredible out here, guys. I cannot wait for you guys to see it, to get in here August 9th for the grand opening and see what we're doing with Sunny Days Arena, making it the future home of combat sports in Pittsburgh. Been the goal from day one when we first looked at this place. Now, what did we determine? I don't know. Ryan and I were talking the other day, and we determined it was, I think, 2.5 years ago that we very first looked at this place, and now the grand opening is finally here. So the vision has never changed. The mission has never changed. Then we haven't stopped, despite everything urging us to stop. Maybe we're stubborn. Maybe we're onto something. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but we have a long, long way to go still. Like I said, this place is still getting worked on, still a lot of prettying up to do, so to speak. We could definitely have a show here tomorrow. It looks really good. It looks plenty good enough to have a show. I mean, we had that trampoline park show back in October where we had to transform a trampoline park into an MMA venue in 3 days. So it looks better than that. Although that place actually looked pretty sweet, I thought. I really liked the trampoline park show. I thought the environment there was really cool. I thought it was a great setup in general. Now it's right next door to Sunny Days Arena, so who knows? Who knows? You may be seeing the trampoline park again someday for some reason. But for now, all systems go. Sunny Days Arena, August 9th. The top of that card, guys, come on, man. Come on, man. A UFC rematch between the Death Star Worthy and Violent Bob Ross himself, Luis Pena. They fought in the UFC. Won that one by submission. They are rematching August 9th at Sunny Days Arena, and I can guarantee you, there are no guarantees in combat sports, right? In fighting. Oh, you never know who's going to win until the end of the fight. I know Kama's not going to win by submission again. I'm positive. I would bet my house on it, actually bet my house on it, because it's a pro kickboxing fight. So no submissions allowed, no grappling allowed in this one. They're just going to throw hands and kicks and things of that nature. They're going to hit each other with limbs till somebody goes down. And I know Violent Bob Ross has been wanting this fight back. He has a lot of respect for Kama, I'll say. Like, talking to me personally, Luis, he was like, this fight for sure not personal at all. Like, I actually like Kama. I respect Kama a lot, but that said, this is a fight that I've wanted back literally ever since it happened. So he has his chance now to get it back, and you couldn't be more pumped. There couldn't be a more perfect grand opening main event, I don't think. I mean, how freaking sweet is that? So we've got the grand opening headlined by a literal UFC rematch. To my knowledge, the first time a UFC rematch has ever happened in Pittsburgh. Obviously, there's been other fighters from Pittsburgh that have made the UFC, but to my knowledge, there's never been an actual UFC versus UFC rematch type fight in Pittsburgh. So correct me if I'm wrong. Might be. I'm wrong all the time. Wrong literally all the time. But that's what's going on August 9th at Sunny Days Arena. Get your tickets, 247fighting.com. They're going crazy fast. The balcony tables and the front row seats are pretty much all gone. If not all gone, there may be like 2 or 3 tables left on the balcony, which are incredible seats. If you wanted front row seats and you're mad that they're gone, go to the balcony tables. Trust me. Just trust me. If you've ever trusted me, trust me now. The balcony table seats at Sunny Days Arena are incredible. I do see our guest today, who I'm springing on you. I'm springing a guy on you. He's the man. We've been talking for a long time. We've been working together for a shorter amount of time, but crazy excited about the future with this dude and what he's building, and you're going to hear all about his plans and his vision. It is super, Super interesting what he's doing. I think you guys are going to love it. It's Derek Caldwell, the commissioner of Championship Wrestling Association, CWA for short. I see him backstage, but I don't see his camera and mic being on, so I think he might still be getting set. Oh, there he is. All right, hang on. Let me tag him in. He's alive now. What's up, dude? There he
Let's go,
is.
baby. How
What's
you doing?
up? Always on time, even when you're not. Let's go.
That's right.
I love it,
Making it
man.
happen. Yeah, for sure.
Walking into the casino right now, huh?
Well, I'm actually walking out of it because our area for the weigh-in show tonight is actually, it looks like there's a staff meeting going on in it. So we got like 5 or 6 hours till that hits. So we got some time, but I was trying to get in there. I thought I could sneak in and just get some space, but they said no. So
Well, snap! Wow, the disrespecting the talent here. Don't they know who you are?
I guess not. They're gonna learn today, though. They'll figure it out soon enough. No, but
we got somebody in the comments already. You might know. Let me see. Do you know this name? A young man named Bo Bassett is in the comments right now saying, "Let's go, baby."
Bo Bassett's in there, all right.
Yeah, baby, let's go.
Is he coming this weekend?
I don't know. Are you, Bo? If you're still watching the stream, let us know if you're coming this weekend to Showcase 4 at Live Casino in Greensburg. So I guess we'll just jump right into that, man. I see the beautiful bins behind you, the joys of setup day and running an event. You're just a day out. So first off, thanks for hopping on the show a day out, man. I know how busy things are the day before a show, and I know how hectic you must feel right now.
Yeah, but it's good hectic, right? Like I'm trying to catch up with you. You know, you telling us that you only have a couple balcony seats left, and I'm over here cheering because we're down to only a couple second and third row seats left, and just trying to pack the general admission. So I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses in Pittsburgh. You know,
that's awesome, man. Well, I definitely love what you're doing, brother. Like we've been a big fan of your mission, of your vision. I think it's super unique. I gotta say, I used to work at Flow Sports, obviously, Flow Wrestling kind of massive in this space. And I met a dude there, Joe Kania, and worked closely with him for probably 2.5 years while I was at Flow. Knew Joe super well. Still keep in touch with him, too. And he's been super helpful when needed, when we have like a good grappling matchup featuring wrestlers and stuff. But I saw him giving you guys some well-deserved love the other day, and it just, I don't know, it made me happy, man, seeing the worlds collide. Somebody was talking about professional wrestling, professional amateur wrestling organizations, and they kind of left you guys out of the mix. And Joe was like, whoa, why? Like CWA's been doing this and they're still doing this. Like, you got to talk about them. So how's it feel to be in that mix of this space that is like expanding now? There's several organizations doing this now, but you guys kind of got in early and have a slightly different vision, I would say, than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I feel like people started to look at what we were doing, and they're like, if that guy could do it, I could do it. So
that's what they say when they see me, bro. They're like, if this hooligan can do it, come on.
Right. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's funny. Like I have mentors and stuff that like have helped me kind of get to this point where we're on our fourth showcase. And obviously it's not just me, there's a ton of people behind the scenes of everything that we're doing. But, it's funny because we talked, 2 years ago about just like kind of writing the plan out and what that would look like. And then 2 years later, and sadly he's gone now, but Hulk Hogan's trying to take some of our guys, and obviously sad to see the news yesterday with him, and thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. But that's just it is crazy to see, like, you start to get mentioned with upper echelon people in the wrestling industry, and just trying to build a product essentially that is different than what everybody else is doing. We always think like after college you have to wrestle freestyle or go coach. Well, you don't have to now, right? Like that's our whole mission, is that we make Folkstyle a professional league. And in its true Folkstyle wrestling, the only difference is it's a 9-minute go instead of a 7-minute match like it would be in college. So 3-3-3. And you get to see some great wrestling because it's deep water whenever you get to that 8th and 9th minute.
No doubt, man. We really enjoyed the last show you guys streamed with us on 247 Live, and that was, I know our whole staff was watching and just like, dude, this is awesome. Like, this is a great idea. It's one of those things where low key we were like, why didn't we think of this? This is genius. But yeah, man, I love the way you guys have not only taken it by the reins and just kind of gone full steam ahead. Like your schedule's super full. We'll get into your schedule for the rest of the year and everything, but your pace has been crazy. The athletes you're getting are really really big names. I mean, I'm for sure not the biggest wrestling fan. Our guy Danny Palm on our staff is the wrestling guru. Like he
Yeah.
knows everybody on all your cards every time. I recognize 3 or 4 names here and there, kind of guy. But your cards, I always recognize. Like I'm like, even for me, like a more casual wrestling fan, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy, that's really cool. So, how's your strategy been in attracting that kind of top level talent versus guys that maybe are more unknown, but you recognize the talent, know they'll make a good matchup? How are you balancing that blend of like you gotta catch some eyes and catch some headlines, but you also want really quality matchups?
Yeah, I think with us geographically setting teams, it helps, right? Like, perfect example is this weekend, right? Like Cody Law, right? And that really falls into your realm, and
Heard of that guy?
yeah,
Yep.
you know that guy if you're an MMA fan, right? And then you know him if you're a wrestling fan too. You know, PIAA state champion, D2 national champion for UPJ, and regionally, he's right here. He's a Forest Hills guy, born and raised. So, you know, people know him in this region, but he's a great wrestler as well. And so, you know, it's opportunity, right? Like we present it to them as, hey, this is an opportunity to compete. You make money at doing it. You know, you help us get some people to the event, you make a little more money, right? Like it's this, we really take the same template that you do with MMA, maybe spice it up a little bit more in terms of some of the purses, just because we understand these guys are senior level athletes and some of them are borderline world teamers or trying to make a world team. So you know, we understand that you have to invest into the talent in order to make sure that they're taken care of and they want to come and do it again. So I think that that's been the big thing, is just our openness and transparency about like what this is, what the intention of it is, and the long-term plan for it, of, you know, having a dual meet season, and actually hosting them in markets just like any other North American professional sports league.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you glossed over something that I want to dig into a little more for the viewers because it's a super important component of what you do. And it's funny because you're so deep in the weeds in it that it just seems normal to you to talk about. But talk about the team aspect, because there's been team team. I'll stick to what I know. Team MMA has always tried to be a thing, and it never really sticks. And conceptually, I love it. There are some people still doing. I know MMA Pro League is still around doing a good job, but I'm sure. I don't know if you were tuned into that whole GFL fiasco. They were trying to do something similar and just kind of blew up in their faces. Every time somebody tries it, it just doesn't work. MMA is so tough to plan ahead, and you have to be able to plan ahead with a team based event like that, and where you're getting points for your team and representing a larger entity. There needs to be regularity, and there needs to be a schedule, and there needs to be a roster and all this, and it just ends up being way too difficult in MMA. But you've been running with it and making it work. So why did you decide to go teams, first of all, and then secondly, how does that affect your kind of strategy with everything you're doing?
Well, teams, I think the nice thing is with wrestlers, right, that they have been brought up since junior high wrestling in a team format, right? So they already have that kind of embedded in them and you miss it. And I also think with MMA, in your training, it's a little selfish, right? Like it's, I need to work on my grappling, I need to work on my striking, I need, so you have different coaches for every aspect. But in wrestling, it's you guys are basically alternating turns to get each other better whenever you're training. So I think that also has a little bit of a play into it as well. So in that regard, I think that the guys buy into the team, because after you leave college, you don't have that team aspect anymore. So it's almost like you miss it. It's a nostalgia to them, right? Like they want it back. Because when you're making a national team, yes, you're a part of RTCs, and you might go to the Olympic Training Center and, you know, do a 2 or 3 week cycle there and train with your Team USA guys, but ultimately you're there to try to win a gold medal for yourself and your country. You're not really, the team race isn't really a big thing. It's about how many guys can you get on top of the podium or get them to medal. So that's the thing that I think with wrestling, it can work, and it does work. Like people want something to root for, right? And they want to see transactions. They want to see their hometown guy come home. They want to see their team get a star-studded guy. Like that's why we do it. Like to draft a new guy every year, which we'll get into next season, and to have them fill that roster, and then you can have the wrestle offs, and I have thousand things. Like we would be here all night if I talked about them, Hunter. But ultimately, that team aspect, just like you see with any other North American pro sports league, um, people want to tie themselves to it. So allow them to make it geographical so that they have a reason, and it's close by regionally for them to get to and actually access.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job with that, man. And like I said, booking shows all over the place, but always staying close to one of those teams. Obviously, super smart on your part. The Pittsburgh team specifically, I want to talk about. Obviously, close to home
Yeah,
for
right.
us, but the
These
Pittsburgh
guys.
Skywalker. Yeah,
Yeah, there we
nice.
go,
Yeah.
baby.
Wait, are you allowed to wear a shirt? Is that like favoritism? You showing some
No, so I
bias
got
now,
this
bro?
on. No. I just whatever showcase is next, that's the one I wear.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
I love
So I'll
that.
be wearing the
Okay.
mob red here for 3 weeks after this
Sweet.
weekend's over. So
Sweet. I love it, man. Oh, I mean, in Pittsburgh, I'm wearing a freaking Steelers hat. Like Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, we know how Pittsburgh feels about their sports teams. I think the idea of the Pittsburgh Skywalkers becoming a kind of household name, what better place than Western PA, man? Was that part of your vision? Obviously, you're from there, you know the area very well also, but how exciting is it to do it, not just what you're doing, but to do it in Western PA as well?
oh, it's amazing. And I mean, Pittsburgh wrestling is some of the best in the world. And just seeing the guys that have been Olympians and won world titles that have come through Southwestern PA, like that's a no-brainer. Just the history within the region, to put a team in Pittsburgh. And really that's what we did, is we wanted to put these teams in places where people know wrestling and they care about it a lot. And so when you bring those guys back in a pro form, like you're bringing an all-star team from 10 years ago back together, and then you're adding in national team members, multiple time NCAA All-Americans, national champs from other collegiate leagues, whether it's like Division II or NAIA. You're bringing all those guys together to make a super team essentially. Well, then that really draws interest, and that makes you go, man, can we go out and can we beat Philadelphia? Can we beat the Lehigh Valley? Like I want to see that. I want to see these rivalries build, and that's exactly what we're trying to do, is build rivalries within not just the wrestlers but the communities themselves too.
Yeah, man, I can't really stress enough how high the talent level has been for CWA thus far. And I know you guys are not slowing down. You're only looking to get better and better where that's concerned. But for people who, like you said, are wrestling fans and maybe didn't have anything to do after college with it, this could be that step. This is a very realistic next step, I think, which is super exciting, not just for the athletes, but also the fans. Like you become fans of these guys and then they graduate college and, well, you're done watching them compete now, pretty much, unless they make the Olympics or something like that, that you can end up catching them at. But now there's this whole other avenue, and it's this super fight format, which is great. That's fun. It's very presentable. It's digestible. You can watch it live stream. You can go in person. Like you've made it very accessible for the wrestling fan. So, what do you think is like the next step for you guys in terms of becoming more of a household name in this space?
Yeah, well, I think like the upcoming schedule was important, right? So doing 5 showcases in 5 months, this being our first of that, is so important. Because again, we did 3 over the course of 12 months essentially. So every 3 to 4 months we were doing another one. They were great, and they obviously got our brand out and made people aware of what we were doing, but it wasn't enough consistency to be able to carry over month to month or even week to week to build stories, right? You can't build stories off of just wrestling once a quarter. There's just not enough to do there, at least for us in the early stages. So that's why the 5 and 5 months is so important, leads you right into the college wrestling season. We're going to start to implement some new things as well, where we will have multiple matches at the same weight at these showcases. And then if you win that match, you actually advance to the next showcase to wrestle the other guy that won.
Love that. I love anything that gets kind of tournamenty. We were actually just having a meeting yesterday about our grappling series and how we can work something like that out. So that could be cool. I could even envision a 247 Sprawlenberg champ versus a CWA champ super fight, hybrid
Yeah.
rule set or something. Let's go. I'm
All right.
always down
Yeah.
for stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, the whole wrestler versus, BJJ grappler thing is super fun to me. I love when matchups are that in Sprawlenberg. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Well, actually, man, I'm going to have to break that habit. It's not called Sprawlenberg anymore now that we're at the venue. It's just 247 cage grappling at the venue. So I need to get used to retiring the old name. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
Yeah.
Our guy Nico from Indio Dojo, a local gym here in Pittsburgh, he says, "What's up, guys? Have a solid weekend." Definitely going to do that, Nico.
For
Definitely going
sure.
to do that, brother. Derek's going to have a really solid weekend because he has a show tomorrow. So let's dig into this show specifically for people who want to come check it out.
For
I think
sure.
if you're a wrestling fan and you've listened to the podcast to this point, you probably now want to go to the show. I would hope because it's pretty baller what you got going on for a wrestling fan. So live Casino Greensburg tomorrow night starts at 7 p.m. You mentioned Cody Law on the card, but what about this card specifically? If you had to sell it to a wrestling fan, why should they come tomorrow night?
Well, I think you're going to get the best of not just one or two worlds. You're going to get the best of a lot of wrestling worlds, right? Like if you're a local wrestling fan and you are tied to the high school scene in southwestern PA, like you have guys that like Ed Scott, who's coming down from Du Bois, but he was an All-American for NC State, right? Then you have guys like Cody Law, right? Forest Hills D2 national champion out of UPJ. You have guys like Zane Lanham, who is probably nobody really knows about. Zane Lanham was a two-time NAIA national champ. Dude's a 220-pounder for us. He's cut like a Greek god. He's actually one of the Pittsburgh Skywalkers. This is going to be his debut in the league. And he finished third at the U.S. Open. Recently just took a position at University of Little Rock, Arkansas, or Arkansas Little Rock, however you say it. but yeah, so he's coming in for that as well, and he's wrestling a guy, Gavin Hoffman, who's a Central PA guy, and will represent the Whitetails, who was an All-American for Ohio State, and those guys have both wrestled. They've wrestled twice. Gavin has beaten him in Folkstyle, and then at the U.S. Open, Zane actually beat Gavin in freestyle. So these guys are
Love
coming
that.
together and they're wrestling a 9-minute Folkstyle match in this, and that's one that I think will actually develop into a rivalry because these two are going to be set to be local rivals, with Central PA and Pittsburgh being the two closest to each other in proximity from where we wrestle them. And then just they've already had a past and wrestled each other and they split. So this is kind of like the rubber match for them, but I don't foresee it being the last time they wrestle.
Oh man, I freaking love that. See, like building the narratives over time, that's what's going to get so special, I think, with CWA. You can kind of build these rivalries and it gets really really fun really really fast, especially with the team aspect. Like you
Yeah.
said, obviously Western PA, a very proud wrestling area. If they're getting smoked by these other regions, man, you're going to start seeing some serious fire. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, for sure.
We got one of
And
our
not
one of our biggest. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say we started to implement undercards as well. So like we have like Bo Fennick, who's a local high school kid, wrestles out of Franklin Regional. He's actually going to be competing against a Michigan State champ out of the greater Detroit area. They're bringing.
Dang, we lost Derek's audio for some reason. Sorry, man. Your audio dropped out
Yeah,
for some reason.
Donnie called me. Donnie's calling me. He
Freaking
wants
Donnie,
something. I
really
don't know.
doesn't he know, dude? Donnie should know that
I
you're
told
busy.
him 1 to 2.
Unbelievable.
I said 1 to 2. Don't talk to me. So he didn't listen.
He can't resist. He just
He
couldn't
can't.
resist.
Right,
But
right,
yeah,
right. So we have a couple undercard matches. They're going to be really good too. Jeff Alexander, who is a 4-time national qualifier for Maryland and a Shady Side Academy grad, he's going to be wrestling against Nate Smith, who's a Franklin Regional guy and a D2 All American for UPJ. So
yeah, that was a name when you guys announced him. That was Nate Smith was one that I recognized. The UPJ ties, the Matt Factory ties. Isaac
yeah,
talking about him all the time. I Nate's come to our shows and stuff. So Nate's definitely a guy that caught my attention as well. If you guys are listening more on the MMA side of things, There's your T. I don't know if he fights MMA or not. I don't think he has, but he's in those circles at any rate.
Yeah.
We have one of our favorite fans and supporters, Jared Billy, in the chat. He says, "Will CWA eventually be at the venue? I like amateur wrestling." It's a great
That
question, Jared Billy.
that's a great lead in too, right? Like
It is, yeah.
the intention was for it to actually be. This got out of hand actually, and I kind of blame you, Hunter, because we were just going to add a couple matches to a grappling card that you were going to do, and then we got these guys booked, and we couldn't get it squared away quick enough, and it just evolved into something where we're like, this. I guess this one's going to be CWA Showcase 4 because we're already too deep. So
Yeah, yeah. So for people, we never talked about this, but I'm more than happy to talk about it publicly now. We had planned, you guys, if you follow the show, if you follow us, you know what the situation's been. Us trying to get Sunny Days Arena open and running and fully operational. So we had all these big grand plans. We had ideas of doing a hybrid card with CWA where they would have some matches on one of our cage grappling cards to kind of showcase what they do and how they do it. And that obviously we couldn't open up in time for that. That was going to be tied into the July 19th situation whenever we were planning on that show. That didn't happen. Now we're August 9th, and he's like, well, dang, we already got this all set up. So now you guys just got a full card at Live Casino. But the good news is, man, that is a good spot. I like that place. It's a cool area. It's really easy to get to right off 30. And now you get a chance to just kind of do your thing in full. But to answer you, Jared Billy, yes, if I was a betting man, I would strongly bet that CWA will be inside Sunny Days Arena sooner than later.
yeah, that's the full intention was to be there the last weekend. But you know what? It's okay. Like you said, Hunter, it's an opportunity for us to put on a full card and a full showcase. So I think be it's going to go great. It's already like everyone's hyped up about it. Like we're getting the buzz around town already. People coming into town for it. It's going to be a good night of wrestling.
That's awesome, man. I think another thing you guys do extremely well that deserves mention is your social media, your graphics, your marketing. You guys aren't just there's a lot of promoters that try to have a show and they don't really think about that side of things, but you guys do a great job, man, pushing out videos, pushing out nice graphics. The bout sheet is out there and very accessible. Like if you want information on the show, you can just go to your Instagram and you can learn everything you need to know about that show. You do a great job of keeping the fans very informed. So is that you? Is that Donnie? Is this a joint effort? Do you have somebody else on the team?
Well, I would never trust me to make a graphic, but when it comes to the posting and putting the tidbits together for it, I do some editing. So I'll do the video editing, but I couldn't capture video that good to save my life. So when it comes to the actual talent and the artwork, I'm not an artist by any means, but I can stitch some stuff together and I can put a nice caption. I was a communications major, so I can put some nice captions together.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah,
See, putting that degree to work.
that's right. Mom said I could do that.
I have a journalism degree, so I guess the podcast is close enough to
Heck yeah,
something in that realm. We'll
for
take it.
sure.
Yeah, we'll take it, man. But it is, man. It's super exciting, and I think when people see it, I I think they'll be surprised. I'll put it that way, in a good way, and that's how I feel about our shows too. Where like regional MMA has a certain stereotype. You expect it to look and feel a certain way. Not always a lot of money invested in production and the flow and the look of things, but these are all things that we care about a lot. Like this is a really big point of emphasis for a 247 show is that it needs to look and feel epic, big, fun. You want to go home saying, dang, that like vastly exceeded my expectations. And watching your live stream of that last showcase, I felt the same way. It's very clear that you guys aren't just setting up a camera on the mat and streaming to Facebook Live. You know what I mean? There's real effort put into the production and the flow and the walkouts and everything about it. So what made you care about that stuff early on? I think it's interesting because there's obviously two schools of thought. It's really expensive to do that stuff, and you have to think that it's worth it for some reason. So what made you think that this is worth investing in?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're actually going to do this thing, we got to do it right. If we're gonna put the energy and the time into it, you might as well invest in quality and not just necessarily just hit play, right?
Yeah.
I think for us, our intentions are greater than just doing these showcases. Like when we talk about having a full-fledged league and a full-fledged season, that doesn't just stop with these six teams that we're starting with, right? Like, yeah, like the NHL had an original six, and then look at what they became. So I think for us, we have a manifest destiny to stretch this thing across the country, and not like we're going to do it overnight. You're not going to just bam have 30 teams, but you go from 6 to 8, 8 to 12, and you slowly see things formulate over the course of years. And you build storylines, you build teams, you build a following. Um, that's the goal. And so when we do that, we want to make sure that the people that aren't able to be there in person actually have a positive reaction to what they see the first time they see it.
That's awesome and super important, I think, man. I think you're doing things all the right way. And it's interesting to hear you reference the NHL again, because I know this is something that we talked about before at Sunny Days Arena, with different venues of different sizes and different setups. You inform I never knew this. Back in the day, all hockey arenas, the ice wasn't regulation size. Like there was no mandatory size, I should say, for the ice for the rink to be. So certain teams would have an actual home ice advantage because they were used to the dimensions of their rink, and the other team might not have been. So super awesome. And now bringing that to wrestling, dude, I think that's super fun. So have you intentionally modeled things after the NHL, or are you just kind of finding out these similarities on the run?
I wouldn't say I've modeled it after it. I think like there's just some things are happy accidents, but I will say like if you're trying to get yourself into a position that feels attainable, right? Like if you look at the four major sports in the United States, or really five if you look at MLS as well, hockey is probably the most aligned in terms of their fan following and kind of what you would want to see out of a wrestling league. I think that because they are a lower salary cap in comparison to like an NFL or an NBA, it feels more attainable as well. And I'm not saying that we would ever get to an $80 million salary cap anytime, within the next 100 years. But at the same time, our goal is to have these guys be able to have basically a yearly salary where they could focus strictly on their wrestling and within our league, and then obviously still have the ability to chase world and Olympic titles, because ultimately we're not trying to deter from that by any means. We're just trying to create another opportunity. And folk style wrestling, for these guys, they've done it for 20 years before they switched to freestyle. It's like riding a bicycle. So
Hmm.
they get right back into it. They love the fact that they can do it. They're just like, I have to remember I can't lock my hands when I get on top of somebody. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think man, it's so interesting because wrestling. So I grew up more in Central PA, I would say, just near Breezewood.
yeah.
And my school was so small, we didn't even have a wrestling team. So like
Mhm.
high school wrestling wasn't necessarily a big deal to me growing up. It wasn't around. My cousin went to Clarion actually and wrestled Dustin Conti.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I knew Dustin was like crushing it at wrestling, so I was semi tuned in through him and everything. But it was never a huge deal to me. But then I moved to the Pittsburgh area in college, and I've been here ever since. And it's just like so massive here, as you know. I mean, it's like a, it's the thing. If you're a badass wrestler, you're just the dude in Pittsburgh anyway. So I think it's interesting that there's not this avenue for people to go after college until now, like what you guys are helping fill, because there's so obviously an audience for it. And I don't think anybody's done it right yet. Like, I really don't, because this should be a very regularly scheduled thing for people to tap into, because the people who are interested in it are here. It's just a matter of giving them a product that they're interested in. So I think it's awesome what you're doing, man. Like, the mission is it's clear to me. Like I can see exactly what you're thinking, and I agree. Like, dude, I think you're onto something. So it's super exciting. But what kind of timeline, when you set goals for yourself as a business, what kind of timeline and signs of growth are you looking for along the way? Like, what would let you know, hey, we're on the right path right now?
Yeah. So I would say that it's, and I know we're on the right path, because from the first one where we were at that huge deck hockey rink in Murraysville, right? And we had about 150 people there. It's like we had to understand what it was going to take to actually get people through the door in the seats, right? And with that being our first showcase, we learned a lot from it. So we're thankful that it happened. And so then from there, everything has gotten to the point where the building might get slightly smaller, but the crowd gets slightly bigger, and we're almost to that point where the building fits the crowd, and then we start to just navigate upward from there. And I think this is the one, or very close to the one, that's going to allow us to be like, okay, we're going to start to navigate upward and
Nice.
expand. And so that, because every time we've had more people every single event, no matter what.
Huge.
So yeah, right. So our trajectory in terms of attendance has been positive every single time. So um, and we're right there. We're right there. I know we are. And that's where it's exciting. You know, we have one in New Jersey in 3 weeks. We have one 2 months from now in Detroit. And we have one 3 months from now in central Pennsylvania again. So with all of those, though, the mindset is like that people want to be at it now. Like people are learning about it, and they're like, "Let's go." And that's the key. Like we're seeing that
Absolutely.
happen live time.
Oh, that's huge, man. I'm super stoked for you guys. That's a really fun feeling and really rewarding for I mean, we know the the work that goes into making an event happen is crazy and everyone underestimates it until they try it. I tell people all the time. Ryan says it all the time. We as a team we discuss it. The only way for you to understand what it's like to run an event is to go do it. I can't really tell you what it's like until you go experience it. Until you feel the heat of a fire that you never saw coming and you don't even understand why it's happening, but it doesn't matter. You just got to solve it. Like that feeling is unlike any other, man. And it is a rush on event day for sure. When everything's going smoothly and you can look around, see the crowd having a good time, and you've got good matches, good fights happening, man. There's not many rewards like that, so it is very worthwhile. But I think for you specifically and CWA specifically, you're feeding not only that event that night, but you're feeding an entire demographic of wrestling fans that are hungry for something like this, man. Like the potential really seems unlimited to me, which is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't sure when we first started it, right? You just never know. You never know. And the biggest thing that we took away from the last event we did last year in Pittsburgh was there was there was as many people that said, "Man, I wish I knew," than as people that were there. You know, you get so many. It's like, "Oh man, I wish I'd have known. I would have like changed my plans. Wouldn't have been out of town that weekend." And so that was like the spreading awareness is the biggest thing. Just letting the people know, like, "Hey, this is happening, and this is who's going to be here." Because, you know, we had some freaking studs on that first card, and we have them on
You
this one
did,
too. But
yeah.
we had some dogs. We had Nashawn Garrett and Trent Hidlay, and some really big name guys that were on the card. But yeah, that's the big thing is like now that the awareness is starting to come, now the is starting to flow a little bit. So
That's huge, man, and we're super excited to play a small part in that with you with 247 Live, man, and streaming these shows for you. We did stream the last one, and it was very short notice kind of thing, and it did really well, and I think we really enjoyed working together. I know we did for sure,
yeah,
like
right,
working
yeah,
with you guys,
yeah,
and we're running it back. So every event, guys, just to be super clear, every event he just mentioned of this upcoming schedule throughout the end of the year is going to be on 247 Live. So you can either stream Showcase for the event tomorrow. You can stream that on its own, just a one-off pay-per-view type situation for $14.99, or you can go ahead and get the bundle of events, which is every CWA event through the end of the year. It's 5 shows for $49.99. So you save a significant amount. You save like $25 doing it that way. If you think you're going to watch them all, just go get that bundle and save yourself $25, and then you'll have access to all of them. So that's a really exciting way to track, and I think it's really smart the way you have it set up. There's actually a reason to watch every show. You're not watching just for a guy. You're watching for a team. You're watching for the narrative to build. That's it's awesome, man. I can't say enough about the fact that you're making that work because I love it as a concept. Like when you just talk about team MMA, team combat sports in general, I love the idea, but I haven't seen anybody really do it right. And now I feel like you guys are doing it right. So that's awesome, man. I hope it continues to flourish for you.
thank you, I appreciate that.
For sure, man. And for the athletes themselves, I mean, what has their response been to 247 Live? Like how are you balancing them pushing physical tickets in attendance, which is obviously very important, versus go get the pay-per-view because that's also very important. it's a balance that we struggle with ourselves, just being totally candid. Like, do you push the pay-per-view more? Do you push tickets more? How do you spread this out? So how have you kind of navigated this so far?
Well, so for me, and the thing with us is, I think that differs a little bit from you, is we have people coming from all over, right? So, like, if we have someone that's coming, like we have the Van Bro brothers, they're both coming from New Jersey. Like, I told them flat out, I said, listen, I understand you might only have 4 or 5 people here tonight to watch you physically, but sell the subs, dude. Just sell them. Like, you
Yeah.
have all in New Jersey. You went to Rutgers. Like, they love you. You basically can go into any deli there and get a free sandwich because you went to Rutgers, you know? So, so I said, push the subs, man. Just you guys push the subs the whole time. And, that same thing with like Zane Lanham, he's from way down in West Virginia, and he's out in Little Rock now. So that's really what we do. It's really circumstantial, right? If you're local to the region and you're wrestling, like, get your people in the door. But if you're not, just tell everyone that where it's at, and then just send
Yeah.
them there. Like, it's worthwhile. It's no different than saying I'm going to buy a UFC card. It's actually a lot better because it's about 8 times cheaper. But but
Yeah.
still, it's the same concept, right? Like, push the subs. If you're not in town, get all your people to buy a sub, and we incentivize them to do that as well, so they get a portion of every sub they sell. So I think that's important. So, like, people that are like, well, I don't know, you're still supporting the athletes, right? Like, it's
Hmm.
not just all coming to the CWA or the 247. Like, you're directly supporting the athletes whenever you buy a sub.
It's huge, man. I think that's something that definitely helps 247 Live kind of separate itself from the pack, is that ability to track who you're buying for and then give back to the athlete. It's not very common. I mean, all the way up to the UFC. I know like champions get pay-per-view points, and maybe certain guys have it in their deal, but for the most part, the vast majority of fighters don't see a penny of that. Which is,
Right.
it kind of, I mean, I see both sides of it for sure, but at the same time, especially for something like this that's developing, that is hyper regional, but also like expanding to a more national scale, like that feels good. Like you just said, Van Brill Brothers, like that's huge for them to be able to say, hey, I'm still like, there's still incentive for me to push this, even though you can't be there. Like, throw me on your TV, brother, and support me that way. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for people who haven't used 247 Live before, you can go to stream247live.com and order the pay-per-view. And then once you sign up, there's a little box at checkout. Like when you put your name, you put your details in, there's a box that says, if applicable, name the fighter or competitor you're supporting. And that's where you'll write the name of the guy that you're supporting. And that's how we track who you bought for and who deserves that, who gets that credit. And then once you check out, you can watch 247 Live on your iPhone, iPad. It's in the iOS App Store. It's on Apple TV, it's on Roku, it's on Fire TV, and it's on Android devices as well. So pretty much however you want to watch it. When I'm at home and I watch it on my TV, I use the Roku app just because I have a Roku on my biggest living room TV, and that's a great way to watch. I think even if you're not buying the pay-per-view, like go check out 247 Live and then get back to me, cuz I think once you see the app, it's super nice, man. It's like Netflix for combat sports right now, like local combat sports, which is really cool, and we're looking to add new promotions all the time. So obviously excited to have CWA kind of kick that off as one of our first partners. Our first, we can say our definite first partner on like a multi-event type deal. So it's awesome, man. It's been a super pleasure working with you guys and seeing what you're doing. I think your approach is awesome. I mean, from the get go, you've been taking everything very seriously, and as obvious as that sounds, it's not common in this space. Like the way you guys run this is the way a very serious businessman runs any business, and it's awesome to see. So I wish you guys the best, man, and I want to give you the chance. You got any sponsors? You got anything you want to shout out before we kick this thing offline?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess we one main sponsor I definitely want to talk about real quick is Coleman Supplies. So these guys are big in the PA skills game. So if you're anywhere in like a gas station or any place or a bar or anything, you see those PA skills machines, that's probably Coleman Supplies. So they are a supplier of a lot of those around the state. So if you're watching this and you're like, and maybe own one of those types of businesses or a laundromat or something, even like hit up Greg Coleman at Coleman Supplies, and he'll set you up if you're trying to use those PA skills machines in there. Because I will say, like, they are getting a lot more popular. It's like it's if you don't want to go to the casino, that's kind of your alternate right now
Yeah,
here in
yeah.
the States. So yeah, but those guys have been a great supporter of us, and they, they do a lot in the PA skill side of stuff. So I wanted to give them their flowers right now.
That's awesome, man. Well, that they do sound incredible. You guys should absolutely check out Coleman Supplies if you're in that realm, but you should also go to the casino tomorrow instead of playing these small games of
Yeah, right.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be clear. The
Yeah.
live casino in Greensburg specifically tomorrow is where you should be. And if they sell out, which I really hope you do, you should get the pay-per-view on 247 Live and watch it from the comfort of your home on the big screen. Dude, I love it. If somebody does want a ticket, we didn't really plug this at all. How do I get a ticket? I want to go.
Yeah, man. Go to CWAWrestle.com. On the top bar, there's a tickets tab. You just click on that; it'll take you right in. There's a few second rows and maybe a few third rows. There's really not much in the single seat. We're getting down to like the GA section, so we'll have some seats set out for GA. But we know wrestling people love to stand when they watch wrestling. It's like a weird thing. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is, but I'm sure you get it at MMA as well.
for sure.
But yeah, so we're gonna put a couple extra rows out for the GA people that do want to sit. But I know that these guys, they like to grab their beer and stand and watch, and then be able to get up and get a beer quicker. I think that's what it is. You get the beer quicker, and
That's part
then
of it.
then you're back before the next match starts. You know?
Exactly. There's also that nervous energy in combat sport. You just want to like pace a little bit. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, for
For
sure.
sure. So, are tickets available at the door? If you don't get them online, can you just show
Yeah.
up and get in?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We'll have the QR reader there if you want to pay through your phone. And we'll also there's a cash option too. I know a lot of places don't are paperless or cashless now, but we have a cash option. It's actually my dad. He just loves talking to people
That's
and handing them
awesome.
$20 bills. So, uh, so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it, man. So tickets at the door or online, CWAWrestle.com if you guys want to go to the show tomorrow at the live casino in Greensburg. It starts at 7 p.m. You guys start right on time too, like we've said all along. Very professional. Be there before 7 to find your seat and get settled in. Don't miss that first match. But I do want to kick one more thing to you.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of hypotheticals. I don't know why, but when it's like, what would happen if John Jones fought prime Mike Tyson? Like stuff like that, I love.
Sure.
So, if you're putting together a hypothetical wrestling match, what would be your ultimate? Take any guy from any era. Who do you want to see wrestle?
Who would I want to see
Yeah, like
wrestle?
make one match.
Yeah.
Any
I
era.
would say that would be interesting. And this guy, the smaller guy, would have to bump up a little bit. But I would love to see like Cale Sanderson in his prime wrestle Bruce Baumgartner in his prime. Like
Dude,
Bruce is a massive dude and has won every medal under the sun. But then you got Cale, who's like, he's Cale.
Kale. Yeah, what more do you need to say about that?
Right. That would be if I had to pick from all of the eras ever, it would be that.
That's fun. Well, I love it, dude. I love a nice hypothetical. That'll make a nice clip for social too. So we'll throw that out there. People will either roast you or celebrate your choice, and either way, it's good for business.
Right. Yeah.
Sweet, man. Well, go get set up, man. Hopefully their little staff meeting's over and they'll actually let you in the building now. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Right. We got to get this thing fired up.
No doubt, man. Good luck, brother. We'll for sure be in touch. I look forward to the stream tomorrow night, and for anybody else in the area, go watch live, guys. We say it for our fights, and this is how you know I'm being sincere, because 247 Live benefits if you get the stream. But I'm telling you, combat sports are better in person. If you can go get a ticket, go see it in person. If you absolutely can't, 247 Live got your back. But go support the CWA boys, and yeah, man, we'll see you there. I look forward to it.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, dude. Enjoy your day. Stay stressless.
Nah, too late.
I know. I know. It's over. Later, brother.
Later, man.
Peace out. That was Derek Caldwell, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome guy. I freaking love that dude. We need to like get together and just crack a beer sometime, I think. It's been a long time. He's been out Sunny Days Arena, obviously, but that's just a cool dude. Just hang out with that guy. He's doing great things. I mean, obviously, we talked about CWA a lot, and for sure, not just blowing smoke when I talk about their mission. I think that's genuinely an area that needs something like that. I think he's on a really interesting path, talking to him a lot, texting back and forth on phone calls all the time. He's always asking like very smart questions about how to grow it. How would you do this? How would you do that? How would you recommend this? He's not making decisions just to do it, which is always a really good sign, I think. Very strategic with his growth strategy, and I think we're going to see it come to light here sooner than later. So if you guys are anywhere near Greensburg and want to see some high quality amateur wrestling, check out CWA at the Live Casino tomorrow. That's July 26th, Saturday, 7 p.m. They'll be ready for you. It sounds like he's about to sell out physical tickets. Also, you might have to choose a GA or get left out altogether and watch the pay-per-view. Stream247live.com. So yeah, man, there's that. CWA's killing it. We're only like 2 weeks away now from, I can't believe we're saying it, the grand opening of Sunny Days Arena. It's been such a long time coming, and it feels so good. I did see Travis Hudson pop into the chat, so I know he is super excited about this. My dude from Louisville, Kentucky. He fights Musa Al-Sulaimani August 9th at 247 MMA at the venue, the grand opening of Sunny Days Arena. That is a killer pro fight. I am so stoked for that matchup. In fact, we have 3 pro fights on this card, and all 3, I think, are incredible. I'm a huge fan of this card. Big fan of this card. Mark it down. Hunter likes this one. We talked about at the very beginning of the podcast, Kama the Death Star Worthy versus Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena. A UFC rematch, a quite literal UFC rematch happening in the 247 FC cage. Kama wins the first fight by submission. Submissions are not an option this time. It's a pro kickboxing fight. Whole new dynamic, whole new look to that fight. Crazy matchup, man. Could not be more excited about it. Got Bronco Busick versus David Richardson under that. You guys know both these fellas very well. 2 beasts, animals, good everywhere a fight goes. Bronco's on a tear. David just bounced back with a huge win of his own. That's a great matchup that genuinely I have no idea what's going to happen. I do know that they both think they've turned a corner in their career, which is super exciting. These are guys who maybe took some losses early that they feel like they wouldn't have lost now, where they're at now. And we get to see them at their best, which is obviously, as a fan, that's what you're looking for. So that's a super high-quality matchup. And then obviously Travis Hudson and Musa Al-Sulaimani, I just talked about that as the third pro fight. Moose being a national champ boxer from Penn State, training at ATT Happy Valley, main training partner of Bo Nickel and the like there. And Travis Hudson coming up from Kentucky, really savvy pro, super underrated record. You look him up on Tapology. I believe he is 1-2 off the top of my head. 2 losses, super quality losses, has a lot of grappling experience as well, which, if you're fighting a national champ boxer, you would think that's where you would want to take the fight and potentially have an advantage there. So as far as styles make fights type situation, that's a very fun one. And an exciting step for Moose too, coming off a big win for us last summer, last September maybe. Man, I don't know. I'm usually really good at remembering exactly what event, but there were a few in that summer stretch, September, June, July stretch that kind of all ran together. I think it was September though. He looked phenomenal. It could have been June. Could have been the second half of that doubleheader, June 29th. Man, I can't remember. Either way, he wants to keep that rolling strong, and I firmly believe that he is on a path that he's taking it very seriously. I'll put it that way. He is not looking to do MMA as a side job. He's looking to make this a real career and a real path to greatness for him, and very determined guy. He's awesome to work with. I'm crazy excited for that Hudson and Moose match. Man, any grappling event set after August 30th? Matt Cook, what's up, dude? Thanks for chiming in. Do we have any grappling events set after August 30th? So 2-part answer, I guess. There are none firmly set. I can't say, yeah, it's October, blah, 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 whatever. I can't say that, but I can say we will definitely have another grappling match before the end of the year. You can bag that up excuse me, you can put a bow on that. You can rest assured we're definitely having another grappling event before the end of the year, maybe two more. I don't know. I can't say two for sure, but one for sure. So I'm glad you asked that, though, because I did want to talk about that as well. The fights, obviously, we're talking about Kyle O'Hare, really hot amateur, August 9th, making his 247 FC debut. He lost his opponent. Unfortunately, Benny Fielding is out of that fight. Benny was a 4-0 guy, also from Ohio. It was undefeated versus undefeated. They had combined record of like 10-0, if you include Kyle's Muay Thai experience, which I do. It's very relevant. Unfortunately, Benny's out of the fight for very valid reasons. We hope that all gets resolved, and we definitely would look forward to having Benny in the future and his team. So that would be great. We did get Kyle another opponent, though. So rest easy, guys. Signed, sealed, delivered. We'll be announcing it very shortly. Kyle O'Hare stays on the card despite the opponent change. Same mission. Huge advanced amateur flyweight fight there. Love that one. And the card is just Edwin Versback. Do I need to Do I need to say any more about that? You guys saw the video. Always a fan favorite. But my favorite part of this fight, besides having Edwin back, which obviously the fans have been asking for a very long time, Jermaine Anthony, Victory MMA, they don't come to Pittsburgh to lose fights, period. They are studs. They are awesome to work with. One of our favorite blue corner teams coming in. I'll say it. Probably shouldn't choose favorites, but man, they're awesome. They get their paperwork done. They put on sick fights. They're fun to work with. What's not to love? Good people. And Jermaine, I loved his post. He reposted. We made a little video for Edwin. He made a post and said, I love beating the local favorites. So you think that didn't add a little extra juice for him? It did. And that's going to make the fight that much more fun. So I'm stoked about that, man. That's a great matchup. Should I announce the first fight of the night? So you guys know, like we always intentionally structure our events to have the first fight of the night be something that really gets the crowd just excited, kicks things off in style, is a really high-level matchup to start the night. A lot of people might see the first fight of the night and be like, "Oh, it's the first one because it's the least important or whatever." Like fights are ranked in order of importance or something, but that's not the case at all for us. We try to make the first fight actually an honor for the fighters. We want it to seem like, wow, they picked me for the first fight of the night. They must have some faith in me. They must think this is going to be a fun fight, blah, blah, blah. First fight of the night. TJ Sloan from Stout, Pittsburgh. You guys know him well. He's fought for us twice recently, very recently, and won both of those fights in impressive fashion. A lot of hype around this kid. Versus High Grounds, Chad Miller. Also, 1-0, savage, great grappler. You guys know the High Ground team, Tommy Costa and company out there. You guys know them well. Again, one of our favorite teams to work with. Just they do things the right way. So we've got High Ground versus Stout, TJ versus Chad, Stud versus Stud. Dude, come on, man. This place is going to go nuts for that fight, and it's the perfect opening for Sunny Days Arena. First fight in Sunny Days Arena history, TJ versus Chad. Real pumped about that one, guys. And then we're rolling straight in. You know, we got Sean Kyle versus Ty Weathersby. That's an insane fight. Dude, that matchup's so fun. A high-level collegiate wrestler at Pitt, Weathersby, now training with Matt Layshock at Southside Boxing Club, which, yeah, I mean, if you guys have listened to our podcast regularly, we say the nicest things about Matt all the time, and they're all deserved each and every time. Ty linking up with him, giving big James Leto vibes, you know, Pitt wrestler, Jeff Magan vibes, Pitt wrestler, goes and trains with Matt, becomes an absolute savage fighter all around. Stop me if you've heard that story before. It's kind of what Matt does these days with MMA fighters, which is awesome. So I'm crazy excited to see what Ty's all about. Sean Kyle, we're familiar with. Flood City Jiu-Jitsu, if you guys follow our grappling series, some previous Sprawl in the Berg events, Sean is a part of those, and crazy impressive grappler, super impressive guy. Very, very high-level jiu-jitsu. In terms of a debut amateur fighter, I'm not sure you're getting much higher-level jiu-jitsu than Sean Kyle, legitimately, and that's not promoter speak. You do not see debut amateurs come out with the level of grappling experience and accolades that this guy has. So you've got wrestling versus jiu-jitsu with the great differentiator of dem fists and shins thrown in. Love that. Crazy, crazy fun fight. So August 9th, guys, it's just insanely stacked. We could just go on and on and on. Sunnydaysarena.com. You can get tickets there. You can get tickets at 247fighting.com. You better do that because, like I said, front row seats are gone. All the balcony table seats are basically gone. There's maybe 2 left. There's obviously seats available on the floor still, or GAs available, but we expect this show to be really big. It's trending really well. It's looking good. It's the grand opening of Sunny Days Arena. It's going to be special for the area, for the fighters, and we're going to do our part to make sure that that goes off without a hitch. So, yeah, man, August 9th. And then August 30th, as Mr. Matt Cook alluded to, August 30th, we're having our first ever 247 cage grappling at the venue card. Love that. I have personally been super excited to get back to grappling. I still think, I don't know, it's the podcast, so it's time to be honest. I still think we haven't done grappling perfectly. The very first Sprawl on the Berg event was probably a top 5. For sure, top 10. Probably a top 5 event in 247 history, I think. Just for what it was, for being our first grappling show, for who we had on. We had Isaac versus Gray Maynard, Dante Leon versus PJ Barch, a ton of just local studs all over it. That event was super special, and I feel like we haven't been able to elevate from that yet. And we've tried various things. I know, we got some flack for some of them, and one of them was very well deserved. One of the worst moments in our history. But hey, we don't talk about negativity on the podcast. We had Nicky Rod. I loved that. Nicky Rod goes on to win CJI, obviously one of the best grapplers in the world. No big deal. Competed in the 247 FC cage. That was awesome. And then at Sprawl 3, we tried, what if we focus hyper local, no kind of national, no Dante Leons, no Nicky Rods on the card, no PJ Barches on the card. Just keep it super local. See how the area responds to that. It was very good. It was awesome. I thought it was a great night of grappling, but again, didn't quite have the pop of that very first Sprawl on the Berg. So we're gonna keep tweaking this formula till we get it right, guys. I am not personally can't talk. I'm not giving up on grappling. We just talked with Derek so much with CWA just now about how the area is craving this kind of high-level wrestling past college for these guys. It's professional wrestling that is folk-style wrestling, not professional wrestling like WWE, but professional wrestling done real. And how the world, the nation kind of needs that, and he's blazing a fun trail there. And I feel the same way about grappling still. I know there's obviously really, really good grappling super fights promotions out there. I look at something like a Fight to Win, and frankly, I look at the first Sprawl on the Berg. Bro, I think it was right there. I really do. And maybe I'm cocky, maybe I'm crazy, but I think we were right there. So I see a path for us to be able to make some waves in grappling, and I look forward to doing that. Kyle O'Hare's opponent, somebody just asked, guess what? I can't tell you yet, but we will announce it very soon, maybe even this afternoon if the graphic's done. We literally just signed it, just got the photos, just got contract. Still a good fight, still a really good fight. You have to trust me on that. You'll see very soon. Yeah, guys, August 9th, Sunny Days Arena. Stoked. It's finally here. I'm here at the venue right now. I'm going to go look at how pretty it is and just smile, I think, after this podcast. So we'll see you guys here. Get your tickets. Please get those tickets. Come celebrate with us. Really, really big deal for us, guys, and for the community and for the fighters, for the coaches, for everyone who's invested anything in Pittsburgh combat sports. This is what it's been leading to, and I hope what can elevate it to that next level that we've been pushing for. It's been our mission from day one to take things in Pittsburgh to the next level. There's no reason we can't be seen as a hotbed of not just MMA, but of all combat sports, with the coaches, with the fighters, with the fans that we have right here in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's ever been fully tapped into, and this is a huge step in that mission, and I hope you're there August 9th to share it with us. Tickets at 247fighting.com. We'll see you there. And again, Derek Caldwell on the podcast earlier, CWA has an event tomorrow night, Saturday, July 26th at Live Casino Greensburg, 7 p.m. If you want to see some super high-level folk style matches, that is your place to be, or watch it on 247 Live, stream 247live.com. And yeah, man, we'll see you guys next week. We're going to have a lot of content next week. Stay tuned. We're heating up. The debut of Sunny Days Arena is almost here. Let's go. We'll see you guys then. Peace out.